Some days horses are funny. They love to play games, and their favorite game is the "you can't catch me" game, which they always lose in the end, but they never cease to tire of playing. And so then if you really want to catch a horse, you have to play the "I don't want to catch you" game, and "I don't care if I can't catch you" game. And usually they're also very jealous, so my horse will eventually get so jealous that I'm giving attention to one of the other horses that he just can't stand it. The horses are just for fun. They're completely unnecessary for the type of grass-fed beef rotational grazing we do. The name Thousand Hills comes from Psalm 50:10, and in that psalm, God is reminding King David of Israel that you might be the king of Israel, but I own the cattle on 1,000 hills and all the beasts of the field. In other words, your job is to be a steward of my kingdom. Yes, you're the king, but that doesn't give you the right to do whatever you want to with it. You need to be mindful that it doesn't really belong to you and manage it accordingly. What we're trying to figure out how to do is how do you recreate a system that doesn't need any external form of energy applied to it, just solar energy. My oldest was a year and a half or 2 years old when we started this. And that, as you have children, I guess it's okay for me to eat Oreos, but I don't want my kids to even know what they are, You start thinking about health and nutrition a little differently because you just want your kids to be healthy. And as we began to study on some of those things, we became more and more convinced that many of the medical problems of our society are a function of nutrition. Not all food is created equal. Not all calories are of equal value to us, to our bodies and our minds. As the demand for grass-fed beef has grown, we wanted to be in a position where we had enough product and of a consistently very high quality that we could support a chain of 10 grocery stores or 20 grocery stores or more. And there's no way that one farm can scale that quickly to do that. So it's worked very, very well for us to do the R&D essentially on our farm, figure out what works in terms of raising cattle, and then teach that to other people that also want to raise cattle that way. It's easy to misunderstand. It's easy to assume that we're in the healthy beef business. We're actually in the great eating experience beef business. If you want to eat healthy meat, it has to come from cattle that were healthy. And if you want to have healthy cattle, you've got to have healthy plants and healthy soil. The number one driver for healthy cattle is that they're in an environment with a lot of biodiversity. The more biodiversity, the more resiliency that system has to changes in the weather, to changes in rainfall, to insect predation. And it allows the cattle to choose what they want to eat. Each plant has a different nutritional profile, especially when it comes to the amount of minerals that it takes up from the soil and holds in the leaves of the plant. And I want my cattle to be able to pick and choose what they most want to eat. And it's really not that different. The cattle are far smarter than people are. They know what they need to eat today to be healthy far better than if I give it to them. My job is just to give them a choice. This was a conventionally farmed corn and soybean rotation field until 3 years ago. And we've developed our own methodology for converting that back into productive pasture again. And what we really want to do is we want to recreate the way that the bison grazed. And the way the bison grazed, they grazed in a pretty tight mob, very intensively. They would come through an area, and when they left it, there wasn't anything green. But then they wouldn't come back and graze that spot for several years because they really let it rest and fully restore, let the plants become fully restored again before they grazed it again. And that's really what we're trying to do. So, quarter-pound burgers, handmade patties, hot grill, a little salt and pepper. The whole notion of stewardship is really important to me. That resonates with me on a spiritual level. That God has provided us with a planet that's capable of producing nourishing food, and we get to choose: do we destroy it, or do we utilize it? Do we learn? Do we try to understand the natural systems that already work and work with those, or do we work against them so that we have to rescue our food system with a lot of chemicals?